the San Antonio Spurs coach, Greg Popovich, he just said one of the dumbest things I think that I've ever heard. I can't believe how much sports I have to watch these days. I'm not the biggest sports guy. I don't think I'm shocking anybody when I say that. The only sport I like is baseball, and when they went woke last year, I canceled my subscription. But now I've got to watch football because of Gruden. I've got to watch basketball because of this guy Popovich. Greg Popovich seems to believe that if you honor Christopher Columbus, who some of us honored this week, that's no different than a German celebrating Hitler.
Indigenous Peoples Day / Columbus Day. Columbus? I mean, he initiated a New World genocide. That's what he did. He took slaves, he mutilated, he murdered, and they're gonna say slash and honor him. It's Columbus Day. That's why they're off on Monday. You know, maybe there's something I'm missing and I'm ignorant, but it makes me feel like they're living in a phone booth and they're educating our kids. Columbus Day, and we're going to honor that. And it's no knock on Italian Americans. That's a silly argument. You know, it's like saying we should be proud of Hitler because we're German. I mean, it makes no sense. It's about Columbus. It's not about Italian Americans.
So there's one thing that this guy said that was true, which is, maybe I'm ignorant and maybe I don't know anything. Yeah, I think he is probably ignorant, and I think he probably spent most of his school years dribbling, and that's perfectly fine. That's his job and his career. But he clearly didn't pay a lot of attention in history class. I'm not going to rehash the arguments over Columbus. Columbus was a great guy who did a lot of great things, notably bringing Christianity to the Western Hemisphere. He's accused of doing a lot of things that he never did. And by the way, for a lot of the indigenous peoples that were here, their culture wasn't all that great to begin with, notably the cannibalism and the human sacrifice. Some people were good people, to invoke the former president. Some, I suppose, were good people, but Columbus was far less bad and far more good than people give him credit for, and the indigenous peoples had some pretty horrifying, demonic practices that Columbus and the Spaniards who came after him put an end to, rightly so. But notice the angle here. The angle is, this celebrating Columbus, if you're an Italian, is like a German celebrating Hitler, which means that Columbus and Hitler are the same person. They're comparable. And because you got the Italian people, you got the German people, and they're both admiring these guys, and so these guys are comparable, right? That's the argument. But it's not true. It's ridiculous. It's this new angle to say that the person, Christopher Columbus, who is responsible for bringing our civilization to the New World, is evil. Right, the embodiment, in many ways, of Western civilization is evil, meaning the civilization itself is evil. And when we talk about all these radical theorists who developed this stuff, I know sometimes people are skeptical and they say, Michael, how on earth does some radical Marxist in his ivory tower at Harvard University, you're telling me that guy, because he wrote some ridiculous book that no one has ever really read, that is affecting our whole culture? Yes, it does have downstream effects in our culture, even to the point that this ignorant basketball coach is spouting the lies being pushed by radical academics and polemicists, including, in this case, someone like Howard Zinn, who is a revisionist historian. He's not even really an historian, he's a political activist. It does have effects all the way down the line. The left has taken its once-in-a-generation opportunities every time they pop up over every single generation, and they've used it to great political effect, and we have not, and that's to our disadvantage. Columbus is like Hitler. Give me a break. I'm so glad that you liked that show. Make sure you subscribe to the Michael Knowles Show here on YouTube. Ring that bell, but also, maybe more importantly, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and type in The Michael Knowles Show. And click subscribe, and that's it. And then you'll get the full, unvarnished opinion that hopefully doesn't get censored like some places. We'll see you next time.